Hey everybody, so I was trying to do a live video and it didn't work. So as I was mentioning, I'm here. Hello commanders, it's your girl Hannah Bianca Gant, Hennibspeaks, and it's Sunday and we are getting ready to leave from Kentucky, and we were at a business event which is designed to charge you up and to rev you up. But the reality is that, like what I was saying before, was that I felt the charge prior to even coming. I felt my expansion and the desire for abundance prior to me even getting the information. So that I feel like there's just a different feeling when you receive what you're supposed to have before the confirmation even comes. Man, it's just like I feel like it could just be explosive. But here's the thing. So I found myself having discussions about what used to be great, what used to be, oh, how I used to do this, I used to do that, and I remember this. I mean, you would think that I was like, a seasoned professional, right? Or I was maybe, one of those old grandmas, sitting in her rocking chair talking about the good old days. How many of you all find yourself talking about good old days? Well, here's what I remembered. For some reason, I put on this shirt. Hopefully you guys can see it. Green, white, and blue. So my parents are from Sierra Leone, West Africa, and the shirt says it's in my DNA. Then I started thinking about like, wow, it's in my DNA, right? Sierra Leone is in my DNA, and actually Nigeria. My grandparents, great grandparents were Nigerian. So I know that there's some West African, in my DNA. However, something else that's in my DNA. When you talk about your DNA, you're talking about your past, your ancestry. People that came before you, all of their genes mixed in together, it's what comes up to be, what your DNA is, right? So I realized that the things that I was talking about that used to be great and how I used to do this and used to do that, those things are also in my DNA. What I used to do is still in my DNA, but why did I stop being great? Why do I talk about being great in the past tense? So I wanted to come here today to tell you, if you are talking about the good old days, it's time for you to switch up the conversation and for you to talk about the current great days. The current great days. Like, man, in these current great days, I am great. I know that I can do this. Not that I used to be able to do that, right? And sometimes I get it. We talk about the good old days because life happens. What do I mean by life? You get married, you have children, you get a new job, you get all of these things that sometimes are even good in your life. But what happens is that we heard over the weekend that instead of pausing or yielding, we end up parking the car, right? We end up actually not even parking, we end up turning the car off when we really should have just parked it, right? We really should have just left the key in the ignition, taken a breather, put the windows down, but instead we put the car in park and we turned the car off. There are seasons in our lives that, yes, we have to take a pause and take a step back, but really there is purpose on the inside of us that's really calling us to move past those things and say, hey, yeah, I got married. Yeah, you got a divorce. Yeah, you had to take care of your elderly parents. Yeah, you had to go back to school. Yeah, you got a new promotion in your job. But guess what? If all of those things are not attached to your purpose, then guess what? There's more things that you need to be doing, and you need to be living in your current great days, not the good old days. Does that make sense? Your greatness is in your DNA. It is in your DNA. So no longer are you allowed to make the excuses to say, hey, I used to be able to do this, but when this happened, I could no longer do it anymore. No, when things are in your DNA, there's no stopping it. I mean, I can't make myself be another ethnicity. I can't make myself be another complexion. I mean, I could. Whew. God bless me. But you can't stop things from being in your DNA, right? So that's the same thing. You have to realize that your greatness is in your DNA. Your purpose is in your DNA. So it's time to start talking about the current great days. No longer are we talking about the good old days. All right, everybody. Again, this is Bianca again with Hennibspeaks. Don't forget to command your day. Hey, listen, follow me on Facebook at Hennibspeaks. If you want to follow me professionally, what I do for business, you can follow me at the HR lady or the Legal Shield Independent Associate page, Henneth Gant. I'm also on YouTube. You can find me at Henneth Bianca Gant. So I'm all over. You can find me on Instagram, Henneth Gant. So I look forward to connecting with you all. And again, don't forget to command your day.